star of Appalachia, and thank you for joining me here at Some Creek in southern Appalachia. I wanted to get on today and talk about something that's been on my mind recently, and that is the concept of resisting evil. And I think that there's a lot of activism and spiritual and social attention around this concept of resisting evil lately, because it's the world. The world is in such a state where evil is in our faces all the time, and we can't deny it. Different people and different factions of people see the evil in different places or as coming from different things, or different causes. But I think there's just this overwhelming sense for people of all political persuasions and religious persuasions and beliefs and opinions that the evil is here and we got to do something about it. And I was recently asked to develop a talk based on the book of Acts about resistance. And I think what was expected, when somebody says, from a Christian perspective, talk about resisting evil, I think what's expected is something different from what I find in the book of Acts or in the Gospels in general, that I don't really find much resistance of evil in the Bible, or at least in the New Testament. There is the often diluted and explained away quote of Jesus that says, "Resist not evil," or "resist not the evil one." Christians don't really like that in general. Historically, a lot of theologians have decided that can't have been what he really meant. But I wanted to talk about that a little bit. Back to the book of Acts. What I find in the book of Acts is that the disciples, the early Christian community in Jerusalem, even when they met with the consternation of the authorities, they didn't really fight against it. They were not like, "We're the resistance." They just allowed themselves to get arrested and they went to jail, and they said things like, "All I can do is speak the truth that I know that God has shown me. I can't follow what you say just because you say it's good." And obviously I'm paraphrasing, but that's the essence of what I get from it. Wasn't a lot of resistance happening in the way that we think of it, where you have the resistance t-shirt with the fist. It didn't seem like that. And so I want to like look into what could Jesus have possibly meant when he said resist not evil. I mean, if there's evil in the world and it's like right in our faces and it's so strong and so powerful, I'm thinking about things like war and vast criminal networks at the head of our civilizations, and hatred and political unrest caused by hatred and refusal to get along, disharmony at the core of society. I think that evil is this thing that it's another there's like vast global level evil or national level evil, the kinds of evil that we see playing out in conflicts and wars, the Iran war, the Israeli-Palestinian war. There's that kind of evil. There's like Epstein files level evil. And then there's the evil in our personal lives and the evil even in ourselves that is like a more quotidian evil. Not being able to align with truth, not being able to practice virtue, even if you know that virtue is called for, not being able to or refusing to do so. These kinds of quotidian evils are really the ones that's the evil that we have that's in our realm of control, and if you've ever tried to quit smoking cigarettes or any other type of addiction, which could be classified as one of these evils, a distortion of truth, a block in the way of human flourishing, a barricade to harmonious living. You know that resistance only goes so far. It's more like when you're ready to stop cooperating with it. There's a part of you that says, oh, you got to smoke the cigarette. I know this from experience. You got to smoke the cigarette. You got to buy a vape. You're going to be so stressed out and frustrated if you don't. And this is your daily habit for years and years and years, and you got to do something to keep it going, or everything's going to fall apart. We can't trust the new way. That's a part of yourself that maybe we could call evil. It's a quotidian evil, You can't beat it upside the head. You can't steel yourself in resistance to it, because it is probably going to take over. And even if you succeed through resistance in surmounting it, often that doesn't last because you haven't dealt with the root causes of the addiction. And then, to widen the perspective to more, things that affect evils that affect societies or neighborhoods or families or whatever. There's a great power in simply acknowledging the evil to yourself. There's a great power in simply saying, that is incorrect. What the other person wants me to do, or what the other party is saying should be done about X problem, is incorrect. It's not the way of virtue. It's not the good thing. It's evil. And simply remaining in awareness of the fact that this influence is a distortion of truth. This influence is a distortion of all that is good. And then from there, do you have to resist it? Do you have to go out in the streets and fight? against it, or, you know, bring the conflict to a head? Do you have to participate in conflict with this evil? I won't say that there's never a time that that's right and necessary, because there's all kinds of situations, and sometimes you reach a point, an impasse, where the only correct choice is to fight against it. But there's also always the option of not cooperating with it. It seems like often when you're in an interpersonal situation, and this can be widened out to a social situation or political conflict, there's a conflict, and you're pretty sure that you're in the right, the other side is in the wrong. When we react to the evil in the other, what part of ourselves is it that's reacting? Is it the virtuous part? Is it the part that's aligned with love, that is harmonious with reality? Is it the part that is good, that is compassionate or responsible, self-aware? It's usually the part that in ourselves that's evil that reacts to the evil in others. Or it's the part of ourselves that's incorrect that reacts to the incorrectness of others. It gives rise to anger, rage, jealousy, making things happen by forcing them to do the right thing. Whereas, you know, one thing I'm learning in my life is I always have the opportunity to just walk away from that conflict, knowing in my own mind that what I'm asked to participate in, or what I'm asked to react to in the conflict, is incorrect. It's a distortion of truth. It's not rooted in love. And I can simply walk away and put my energy into things that are healthy, rooted in love, not distorted, but aligned with truth. And it seems like that is the way. Evil eats itself because it can't produce anything. It needs, of course, just like all things need resources and energy in order to survive, but it can't produce it of its own volition. It can only take. It can only steal from the good. So leave it alone, and maybe it'll die of starvation. It might take a long time, you know, because it might find sustenance elsewhere, or it might have saved up lots of sustenance and hoarded it for itself. So yeah, it might take a while, but it doesn't, if you're not participating in it, if you're not cooperating with it, then does it really affect you that much? And again, of course, there are some cases where, yes, it does, and human conflict has reached such a head, such an impasse, that the only remaining thing to do is to fight. But you have to trace that back to its root. You know, are we fighting now? Are we choosing to fight the evil now, resist the evil now, because we had so many chances to stop cooperating with it and we didn't? Are we forced into that position now because we allowed the evil in ourselves to rise up to meet the evil in others for too long? So yeah, those are my thoughts on the subject of resisting evil. And I think that's about it for today. Thank you for joining me. I'm gonna go sit here by this creek in southern Appalachia and have a nice day.